Well, can he? He can.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna show you today. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road. I had quesadilla 6 hours ago, so now my tummy has a little tiny rumble. I had quesadilla 6 hours ago, so now my tummy has a little tiny rumble.
Ooh, in a very long time ago, long before humanity roamed the earth, I had a quesadilla. I did not know that would not be enough to take me from birth to death. Oh yes, I needed more to fight the rumble in my tummy. Oh yes, I need a yummy treat to get away from everything that makes my tummy rumbling. Yes, Grace.
I love the sour cream that comes with the quesadilla.
Delicious.
It's the best.
And don't forget about the guacamole too.
Ooh, don't
Holy,
forget
holy
guacamole.
Oh, when you make a quesadilla at home in the microwave with 2 really sad flour tortillas from the back of your fridge and whatever cheese you have left, honey, that's lunch.
That's lunch.
That's lunch, but that was so long ago. And now we're doing the podcast, and I ate a quesadilla 6 hours ago.
6 hours
And now
ago.
my tummy is rumbling so.
Once upon a time I ate a quesadilla, and now I'm dying.
Death has come.
Wow, that was one of our most somber songs. I do think that there is a sadness in quesadillas, maybe.
There is.
We all think about the happy memories with the quesadilla, but there is a sadness. There is like a
darkness.
like, oh yeah, let me just put this like shredded cheese on the.
And these 2 very floppy pieces of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of flops, we are total flops because we forgot to introduce our very special guest in the podcast.
Oh my God.
My name is Becca Kenny.
I'm Jamie Schreiner, and
And
today
this
we are
is
joined
the-
by...
Grace
Bahler.
Bahler.
But this is where you...
This is the Big Finish, and today we are joined by the very funny and talented Grace Bahler.
Oh my God.
That is not a flop. You are the cheese in the middle. This is a quesadilla. We are the 2 flops surrounding the warm,
cheese.
hot cheese.
Hot.
You are a hot cheese,
Hot
bitch.
cheese.
Yes.
Watch out, lactose intolerant listeners.
Oh, honey, if you can't handle it, if you're gonna be shitting tomorrow.
You're going to be shitting. You're going to be thinking of Grace while you...
Everybody's gonna hear my voice and they can't help but have diarrhea.
I've always said that.
That's what
I've
happens
always
when
said
I talk.
that.
I'm a walking laxative.
100%. You know, so if you guys are feeling a little constipated, we're
Grace's
Grace.
voice is going to relax your butthole, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I often joke whenever I have to like warm up a crowd. I often joke I'm a human popper.
Oh my God! Literally, I was trying to articulate that right
and it's
now.
that.
Yeah, it's
And then
literally that.
I always go around and I'm like, "That's right, everybody. I'm here to loosen up your buttholes. I'm coming around one by one."
Grace, are you? Do you like poppers? By the way.
I've tried poppers, done poppers
You-
once.
Okay, once. Okay,
Once. I wish that I was offered them more.
How do you?
Okay. Do you think you give off a homophobic vibe? Okay. Grace doesn't give a homophobic vibe. I can confirm.
I feel like an old ass narc, but I am gonna ask, like, what is a popper and how do you do a popper?
Okay, first off, I actually don't like poppers because I did when I first started doing them, but then like the last 2 times I did them, I was like, whoa, like immediately, and I'm like, I should do this. But if you done a whippet.
Yeah, I've done whippets.
They're very similar to whippets.
Okay.
They're you can't legally sell poppers, so they're sold as VHS cleaner, even though, as we all know, we are not cleaning VHSs with them.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. So actually, Poppers, one of their biggest competitors is Netflix. And you like. They're primarily in the gay community, used in the gay community because it loosens up your butthole, as Grace demonstrated.
Yes.
As I demonstrated.
as a great off camera, Grace gave us a little
Step by step.
You know, a live.
I flashed my
showing.
cranium.
Yes, and yeah, and then you sniff it, and yeah,
and it goes, boop, and that's your butt. That's your butthole listening.
Yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like a loser. I missed that one. I'll have to.
We'll do that.
We'll all just do poppers.
Yeah, right after this show.
We're all guys. I have a VHS thing. I need help cleaning it. I need help.
I want to throw this movie party, but my VHSs are so dirty. I don't know what to do. Somebody give me some VHS tape cleaner, but let me smell it to make sure it works okay, because I don't want any of the cheap stuff. I need them fancy VHS cleaners.
Is it the same as the computer cleaner?
It cleans computers too. I don't know. Maybe.
Because there's like I mean, I just know, like, when I was in high school, people would huff the computer cleaner.
It's the same principle. It's all the same principle.
It's all the same thing.
It all comes from the same big family.
We're all just sniffing and huffing. It's like all in this together.
I was gonna say it's like the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus.
Yes.
Species are different.
Yes.
The different species.
Yes. So like I guess the genus for this would be the inhalants.
Yes.
So it is in the same vein as like sniffing glue or whippets.
What happens if you sniff glue? Like, what do you feel like?
Your nose gets stuck.
Your nose is like, ah. I've never sniffed glue.
I've never sniffed glue. Well, I think like it can't be like the Elmer's glue, because I think they make that sniff proof, you know. But like if you sniff like the old fashioned glue, like sometimes you'll see it, you know, like those like little containers, and then you pop it up and then it has like the little cue.
The one that we used to do at Growing Smiles.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Totally. We should have been inhaling that glue. Me and Grace have a long history together. Famously working 3 different jobs together.
Yeah.
Like our day jobs. We first started working at the Laugh Factory together. I remember training you to be the box office person when I was leaving. And then we later worked at Growing Smiles together, which is... I shouldn't say the actual name of the place.
I know. We later worked at
a kid's... I shouldn't say.
At
a dental office.
We worked at a dental office
Yes,
as receptionists.
Yes.
I love that.
And I hated that job so much.
I know you did. That's why
I was there for 2 years.
You were...
I loved it.
You were amazing at it, like beyond. Grace,
I loved it.
Grace is like, the thing is that I've been in like several jobs with Grace, and me and Grace both have like the cheery personality, but Grace is so much more organized too, on top of that she has like, she's not just smiling, she's doing the right thing on the computer as well, whereas my whole system is very much like, oh yeah, that's great, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna enter it in either now or later, or like,
and people were like, Beckett, did you get my insurance card? And you're like, yeah, I'm totally submitting that claim. You're so getting a check in the mail.
And you're sitting there.
Thank God those kids were rich, because I took hundreds of dollars of I did not. I got in trouble a lot for forgetting to put in insurance though. I got in trouble for everything there, but
I feel like it doesn't really seem like it's growing a single smile. It sounds like it's...
my frown grew in many ways. But Grace did a great job there, and it was great. And then we worked at a company that we no longer work for as well, that was a startup that I got laid off from. Grace survived the layoff.
She's a survivor.
And now Grace is making the big leap to going from being a corporate baddie at the startup we worked at to now becoming a full-time stand-up.
Artiste.
And I would love for you to kind of discuss that with us.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about how that's been feeling.
Yeah, it's been cuckoo kachoo, to be quite frank with you guys, because I was at this dentist office for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I got the sales tech startup job, and I was really good at that.
Yeah.
I was really good at that.
Yeah.
But then back in
I want to say that I wasn't as bad at the sales job as I was at the dentist office
you were
job.
great at
I
the
was
sales
good
job.
at the sales job.
You were good at it.
To be fair.
I
Anyway,
think you would say the downside.
but Grace is so brilliant. I'm always so impressed by Grace. Anyway.
Thank you. Right back at you.
He's
I was good at it. I was one of the top performers, and then probably after the layoffs that happened, especially the reality of like, honestly, the tech industry hit me where I was like, oh, I don't, this is not fulfilling. This is not fulfilling.
Yeah.
I am not ending the day feeling like I made a positive impact or honored my own purpose.
Yeah.
And so the more then that I started to like pour love into myself and into comedy and into writing and into acting and creativity, the worse my performance got at work.
And I actually think that was part of a similar journey I went to after because Grace survived 2 layoffs. I survived 1 layoff, but got hit by the second one.
Which, if you want to hear more about that layoff experience when it was happening in real time, you can go back to our episode with Victor Carlesi.
You can hear about me eating cold chicken noodle soup because I was like, I'm not going to order Uber Eats tonight because I'm poor now because I have no. And I was at my.
Why couldn't you heat the soup up?
Because I was at my partner's new apartment and we didn't have any food. They didn't have any food in their apartment, so I had to go to the 7-Eleven to get food. I went and got like the easiest thing you could make. I went and got a Campbell's chicken noodle soup. They didn't buy a microwave or move a microwave.
They just moved. Yeah.
And so I was like, it's okay. And then I tried to eat it cold, and then I was like. And then I just started crying.
I would have
and I ordered barbecue.
Yeah. Good for you. Good, as you should.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll put Uber Eats on a credit card before I have that experience, and that's why I'm in debt.
100%. Uber Eats found out that the thing that was really holding me back from eating all the time was going into the restaurant, was walking to it. No, it was people seeing, yeah. Wait, what? There was something you just said that I wanted to go back to.
Pouring more time and energy into creativity and then performance going down at work.
And there was a moment where I really poured like my energy into creativity on like TikTok for a while. And
yes, I remember this.
And it was great, and I go back and forth because I do love the creative aspect and I love the things I made that time, but I also hated the social media aspect of it. Which has been really difficult because I love making content. What I hate.
You like to create.
I like to create. I love to create. But what are some of the things that you have been pouring your creativity into? Yeah.
So this is so interesting. Something told me to so I've always loved writing, and I write for the radio. I write for Reductress, do that type of writing. But I started doing stream of consciousness writing, and then realized that oh, okay, this is something big. So I'm actually right now I am working on a children's book.
Oh yeah!
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay, that's so perfect for you.
I'm writing a children's book.
You are the perfect person to be reading to children, even though I don't want to expose you as a future children's book author.
I'm so curious what you want to say. Although,
how do you feel about children?
Oh.
As somebody who worked at you with a place geared towards kids, and then
Also, context too. While working at this children's dental office, I did make the decision to sterilize myself.
But it's like you didn't want to have kids of your own. I could definitely see you.
That is so
because you
true.
read the book and then
I've always wanted to be an uncle.
So I was born to be a grandma,
Yeah.
not to produce.
Yeah.
But I respect kids.
I respect kids.
I respect kids. I love that they are just like the way that they are. Like,
Yeah.
and I think as a children's book author, I'm approaching as like, you know what? These kids got to learn. I'm gonna write a fun, entertaining story it'll hopefully pass along some lessons and cute illustrations that they enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. And what is the children's book?
It's about my dog Buddy.
Oh, Buddy is such an icon. Buddy is so
an
cool.
icon. And for those listening, Buddy is a little English cream golden retriever.
I love Buddy.
He's my best friend, hence the name Buddy. He's almost 5, which is crazy, and oftentimes when I walk him, sometimes it brings out like feelings of frustration. I'm like, Buddy, why are you pulling on the leash? Like, I know you want to go get a treat, but why are you pulling on the leash? And then I'm like, if I could just tell him pulling on the leash isn't going to make the walk any more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you to the treat faster.
Yeah.
It's not going to make us go anywhere faster.
Yeah.
You might as well chill out, dude, and just enjoy the journey. So like I'm approaching it as like, kind of, yes.
So good.
So that's like a little preview of like kind of what to expect.
I think we're all pulling on the leash in a way.
Well, everybody's pulling the leash. Everybody will, another thing Buddy does, I'll try to take him down like a new street. He puts the brakes on and I'm like, dude, you don't even know the cool opportunities down this street.
Yes.
It's
oh
like-
my gosh. And then all the adventures that you and Buddy will go on.
Yes.
I mean, it's just funny because I did get
It was so good.
together with Grace before this because we were trying to go over some like planning stuff and we ended up not doing any of it. We just like did tarot cards and talked. But I literally was saying to Grace that I like am going through this period of like it feels like I keep having like bad thing happen, 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 and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, when's it gonna be my turn? Like I feel like just like so. What? And so I definitely am pulling. I'm like, come on, let's. And I feel like
Right?
Yeah.
it's also a thing where it's like if you pull the leash, I don't know if this is like something that comes in the book, but it's like if you like pull too hard, you break it, or you like go. You know what I mean? Like it ends up being completely so far away from what you actually wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can get lost.
Yes. Yes, and then also sometimes too, like a big part of the book is, Buddy's a very food motivated dog, as I am a food motivated person.
True, aren't we
like
all?
mother, like son, totally get it. But he is sometimes so focused on the freaking treats during the walk that I'm like, there's so much else going on that you could really enjoy right now if you just, paid attention to it.
Yeah.
If you just paid attention to it.
And just let go of this expectation of the treats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let go of the expectation of the treat.
Just let go of
'Cause
expectations.
the walk,
It's all about the journey, not the destination.
it's all about the journey and not
for
the
dogs,
destination.
their destination is technically where they started too. They're just going home.
Yeah.
Which is same with us.
Also true for humans.
When we die, we're going back to where we came from.
This is a really good
This is
metaphor.
really, really fucking
This is a
good.
really good metaphor.
Thank you, guys.
This
Thanks,
really
guys.
works on so many levels.
So I had a
Yeah.
psychic reading done a few months ago with my favorite psychic ever. Her name's Gail Alexander. Okay, I don't want to say favorite ever because I love all the psychics I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
But she is right now at least like very much my go-to girl. Every few months I do a reading with her.
Yeah.
And she told me a few months ago, write the children's book, and I've always wanted to write a children's book.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
hearing that, I was like, okay. And now I have an idea for 3 more too.
Oh my gosh, 3 more.
It's so fun. And
That is
I know
so
I like
fun.
just transitioned to like full-time comedy, but
Yeah.
I'm telling myself I just transitioned to
No.
like full-time creativity.
Yes.
Creativity, yeah.
I don't want
Yes.
to pigeonhole myself.
That's so good.
I want to do as much as possible. I want to put myself and my ideas
Yes.
and spirit out into the world.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
it's so
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And I think that that's a trap that so many like stand-up comedians fall into, of being like too limiting in like their pursuit and like in their creative vision of like you know, like you don't have to be constrained to like the traditional means of like of creating like content or art or like you know and that's so awesome that you're writing a children's book.
Thanks. I just like, I feel like it's, well, the only other thing I would add to it is I think it's like, I think that the pigeonholing comes from like a capitalistic place.
It does.
Because people are trying to just like produce a product and they're not focusing on the process any longer. And it's like, I feel like I'm very like discombobulated at all times. Like I always have like 5 pots on the stove, but part of why I do that is because it's like, there are some times where you reach a point with something where you have to just leave it for a second and work on this other thing instead, because it's like you burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And so if you put like all your eggs in one basket and then you burn those eggs, then you're like have no food. That's not like
then
the best.
You can't make an omelet. You can't make a quesadilla.
Yeah.
No quesadillas
No
in this house. But no, yeah, I feel like it's like,
well, and you know what I just like learned recently about like colleges is that like the origin of college
I love the pivot.
The origin of the college was like this idea of like everything was like gonna be like through like a liberal arts lens of like just kind of exploring knowledge and like learning more and becoming more educated like across the board. And then really the golden age of like college for like the US was like the 60s and the 50s. Of course the golden age was not inclusive.
Yes.
But of course it was good until you know, and then they were like, well, now we're gonna make private, you know. But then like through the 80s especially, like school became more privatized and like focused on like becoming career focused.
Yeah.
Like it's all about like you're getting training for a career, which is also good for corporations because now you have to go in debt to get training for a career you don't even have, when it used to be almost every job would train you on the site. Now they expect like experience and like a degree.
Yeah.
And it also it's made education worse. It's made like and this like this idea of like it's like through everything, like and it makes like making art hard because it's like you have to think about like the like success aspect of it and like the ability to support yourself and like wanting to do it full time, but then it becomes a job and jobs are miserable.
Okay, so here's the thing, is I so viscerally agree with that. Last week I got like slammed with I'm pretty sure it was like the flu that I had, and I was so
been going around.
It's been going around.
Yeah.
I felt like sick in like body wise, but also like mentally because I wasn't able to like work the way that I thought I had to, where I was like, oh, I have to get up and I'm gonna send a certain amount of emails. I have to do this. I have to write this.
Yeah.
And now this week I know it's only Tuesday, but like since like Friday last week, I like decided to change my mindset. My body started feeling better. I was like, I know that if I put myself in a mental state where I'm focused not on production or success, but on enjoyment, that is where the magic happens. And so literally, I've just been focusing on like enjoying my days, and like I woke up to creating the biggest thing you've ever done or like making an impact. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't. You don't have to suffer. Like, obviously, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Love my therapist for that quote.
Oh, okay, that is good.
But like, you don't have to kill yourself to make something good. You can just give yourself time and space to just be and trust that like the universe sends you everything you need.
Yeah.
Literally, if you can do that, life changes.
Yeah, because I feel like when I'm working on these like big comedic projects, anything like a podcast, producing a show, it's not the work. It's not like the work for it. It's not the writing the jokes. It's not the making the poster. It's not talking to somebody. It's not booking people. It's like the stress of like feeling you have to reach like this goal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like ruins it and makes you avoid the work of it. Because the work of it is fun. And that's the reason we all chose to do comedy, is because we love it. You know, that work aspect of it. So I love that approach.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add is it's just like, I think it's something that like I have to always come back to. Like I think I sometimes lose sight of, but I even think of like last fall, I think it was, when I did Big Pine. I remember that was one that I was like, leading up to it, I almost wanted to cancel because I was like, I don't want to go all the way to California and like it's going to be so expensive. I'm kind of broke right now because I just gotten laid off.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
It's going around too.
what the? Yeah, I was like, what the? I mean, well, I was like, that was my first layoff. Then I got laid off again. Well, this summer I didn't get laid off. I quit because I had a mental breakdown. But that's another story.
Your mental health laid you off.
Yes, but
They had to get rid of these voices in your head.
But so it was like, I remember it was so funny to me because I'm telling the story all out of order. But I had done Laugh Factory, and Anthony Ramos from Hamilton was in the audience.
Yeah.
And he like told me great job and keep going.
That's so
and, like,
cool.
liked my video. And I remember I think I did like a sigil that night or something. And I don't even remember what it was, but it was something related to like my dreams and my goals. And I woke up the next day, I got laid off. And I remember I was like, similar to what you said on the Victor episode, I was just like, well, this is because I did my sigil. Like everything's about to take off for me and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like almost, it's ironic there's almost a year later, but basically Big Pine came right after that. And I was like, I don't think I should go. Like I'm flying for free, but like I'm gonna have to book a hotel. I don't have a guaranteed paycheck anymore. Like, what am I gonna do? And then like out of the blue, my uncle, who I hadn't talked to in a really long time, who lives in San Diego, texted me and he's like, your dad told me you're coming to San Diego. Why didn't you tell me you can stay with us? Like, we want to see you, da-da-da. And I was like, oh, well then I guess I'll go. And it's like awesome because I haven't seen them since before the pandemic and I'd love to like see them, catch up with them. And I get to the festival and basically they said that there was like the grand prize is like the Rhodes Scholar Award, and it would be somebody who like gives really good energy on stage and off stage, like generally just like not exciting, but like an inspiring person to be around, like all across the board. And I remember I was like, I'm not going to get that. And so I was like, I'm just going to have fun. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm not going to think about it too hard. Yeah. So I feel like typical Jamie would be like, let me show up for all the workshops on exact time and kill every set and get I was like, I know I'm not going to get this because I don't do traditional stand-up, and I'm seeing everybody here so fucking talented and like has way more credits than me. So I was like, let me just have a fun time. And then I was the first woman to ever win it. So it's like, I really do feel like the things you're saying are so true, but I literally forgot. Like within the past month, I've found myself not doing any of those things. So
I forget too. I so forget too. And that's a beautiful testament to it. When you honestly, I think it's kind of like Buddy letting go of the treats. So it just opens up room for things to surprise and delight you.
Yeah. To surprise and delight you.
I love that.
Wow.
It's like, honestly, when I feel like it's funny because I was like, earlier when I was hanging out with Grace, I was really stressed about all these things. But like, you are somebody that I was going to say, it's interesting that Becca was saying like, you're great at this job, great at this job. I feel like you're somebody who like, you could show up to like how Lana Del Rey showed up to Waffle House and like served people in her hometown. Like you could show up and do that and like have the best attitude and make it great.
The world is your Waffle House,
yes,
Grace.
like the world,
the world is my Waffle House. I love that.
And I'm just like, I'm sure you, like anybody, has bad days, but I do truly just like get so inspired sharing space with you, and you make me feel like, oh, it's really not that hard. Like I'm making it more complicated than it is. So just like, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Grace is, I just like have seen you two like do everything like you've ever done and like grow so much like every time, and like the work you put in. And I'm sorry to just like this but I just like, I'm very proud to be your friend, and I think just I'm impressed by everything about you, really. I've just
straight back at you.
I was gonna say,
sweet.
So Grace, since you're the star of the show today, you're the woman of the hour, I do want to ask, this is like less, deep and beautiful as the conversation we've been having so far, but I'm wondering, you have a dinner party at your house.
Yeah.
Any 4 people, living or dead, who would your 4 guests be?
Ooh,
You can
that
pick
is
anyone you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
anybody that I want. Okay, and I get 4 people. I get four people. Okay.
This is a famously challenging question.
This is really tough.
Okay, Joan of Arc.
Oh yeah, that's good. There's a lot we
She's
could.
one
No
of
one
them.
ever said anything historical, and I love that.
I
It's
love
like-
Joan of Arc. The first time I ever learned about her, I think it was in like French class in high school, and they were like, "Yeah, she was this 15-year-old girl who like was part of a big old war and revolution." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I want to be her. That is
Yes.
so cool."
And then you joined the military and was like, "This is exactly what I thought it was."
Joan
That's
of
what
Arc.
everyone says when they go to do the military. Is like, "This is exactly what I thought it was, and they told me it would be.
is great.
It just as good." Sorry.
If they can say that.
They can't. They cannot tell. They can't.
And if that joke got by you, it's because they died. Okay, so, so Joan of Arc is there.
Uh-huh.
We love that.
We do.
Princess Diana.
Okay, Princess
I
Diana.
love Princess.
Joan
I
of Arc.
love Princess Diana.
Love that.
I think everybody. This is like part of our like lexicon now. Like the photos of her in the bike shorts. Do you guys everyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Bike shorts, big oversized sweatshirt, leaving the
Yes.
gym. So cool. Like that and that continuously inspires me, and also just
Yes.
like being a queen of people's hearts. I love that line, and I love how dramatic she was. I'm a very dramatic person.
Yeah.
And I just love that. So they are both there for sure. Okay, and then I have 2 more people left. Robin Williams.
Oh,
This is an iconic dinner party.
I'm playing Robin for Chuck.
You are.
Who are you going to be? Somebody?
I am. I'm gonna be Pee Wee Herman.
You're
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
Pee Wee
Oh my
Herman.
God.
We're all playing
Deceased
comedians who have
comedians.
passed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for Halloween.
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah.
It's night of the. I want to say it's like the dead. It's like. I'm forgetting the exact wording of it, but I think it's like Night of the Dead Comedians. It's something that Chuck did decades ago, like in its first ideation.
Okay.
And we had a show fall on Halloween this year, and so we were like, should we bring that back? And we were like, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll see.
No, that's so fun.
So it'll be fun. I think I volunteered to be Pee Wee, and I'm scared. I'm not scared. I fucking loved Pee Wee as a kid, so I'm
got
gonna
this.
work on that.
You got this.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. My final person came to me here, Z-Way.
Oh yeah, Z-Way is so
Yeah.
funny.
I love Z-Way so much. I would love to have her at the dinner party so that way she could talk to the party guests too. I would want her to
Holding some
interview
people
them.
accountable. Time to hold Joan of Arc accountable for once.
Oh my God! Yeah, we have to talk about Joan of Arc. We gotta
get that sorted out. That's oh my gosh.
But that'd be my dinner party, and
Yeah.
I think it would be really fun.
That would be a really fun dinner party. I feel like Joan would be scared because I feel like it's a big jump from where she passed to like.
Well, we could eat at a medieval times.
We'll eat at a medieval times.
oh my
What am I
gosh.
thinking?
Okay, wait, that actually
Now
would be so fun though.
That would be so
I've never
iconic if you
been,
ate it.
but I heard you eat with your
kill to eat
hands.
with a medieval time. I would kill.
I was
Kill
gonna
or die.
I was gonna say, so you're at medieval times with this dinner party.
Yes.
Who are the like? We could pick like celebrities or famous, past soldiers. Who are the 2 people fighting? Like there's I think there's 4 at medieval times. Who are the 4 jousters?
Right now, because I'm obsessed with the Olivia Rodrigo Taylor Swift feud.
There's a feud.
There's a feud. It's a quiet feud. It's quiet food. It's chicken. No, it's a quiet feud, but it is going on because it's a Cold War.
So they would just be sitting on opposite sides of the arena, just
Yeah.
no swords, just.
They would be writing songs about each other.
Yeah. They would write songs about each other, and then they would throw them at at each other.
Just the paper with the song.
Yeah, they would get on the horse and then smash the song lyrics into each other's faces.
That's the type of jousting I want to see.
Yeah,
Honestly, that
yeah.
sounds pretty fun. I also am wondering, just because we brought up Taylor Swift, this Travis Kelce thing, do we think that they're going to actually be together? Or is it...
I hope that she's just dating and having fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like...
Because I also saw a video of them. This is literally like a 3-second video, but I saw a video of them like leaving the game that she was at the other day.
Yeah.
And he like there was like a lot of people around, whatever. And he just like kind of like was not like touchy with. I don't know. I think if I were Taylor Swift, I would want, you know, a guy to do like the sidewalk thing where they like walk on a specific side of the sidewalk to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the body language is feeling...
Body language. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. The body language wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
To where, you know, it remains to be seen what will come of this, because I didn't he like say that like the first thing was like that he asked her and then he couldn't get a hold of her or something.
I think he wanted to hand her himself a friendship bracelet with his number on it, but they like made it pass through her team. So he didn't feel good about the fact that he didn't get to do it himself.
Oh, and then
interesting.
And then the next thing we know of it is basically that
her at the game, I think.
Her at the game.
I loved the photos of her at the game.
Her at the game
so
was
excited.
really yeah.
I was just like, you go, girl. Like, you could dump him next week and I'm still rooting for you.
Yeah. And she might. I also saw she like you know how like for her concert she's like into cleaning supplies. She gets brought out in like a box of cleaning supplies, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
I saw the popcorn thing.
And now she was in a popcorn thing, which it didn't like to get out of like Travis Kelce's like sweet or something. I don't know, but like it didn't even look like a popcorn machine. It was just like a big metal fridge with like popcorn on top.
Yeah, there was just a bag of loose popcorn on top.
Like this is not
a good decoy at all. Yeah. If anything, is drawing attention. I wonder if it's like, I will say the last thing I'll say about the Travis and Taylor thing, I wonder if it's just like they've not had any opportunity to just be one-on-one. It sounds like all of these things are like through a team or like your mom and 8 people are there.
They have at this point. She wouldn't have shown up to the game if they hadn't had the opportunity to be one-on-one.
True.
And that also was a
choice
choice by her to let people know that they're together. Like, that has to be a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I get that, like, even, like, if you're dating somebody, you'd want to go to the game, but it's like, you don't have to go to the game. You know what I do think that this might just be a PR thing. Maybe I'm too cynical about it all.
You know.
I don't know. I would kill to meet Taylor Swift to know what she's like, because
I feel like she's genuine.
I think that she's genuine and like also good to the people she works with.
Yeah.
But I also think she's kind of like a ruthless businesswoman who will
she's
like kind
strategic.
of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like, I don't think she'd be like mean to you, but I also think like she would like not, she's like gonna do what it takes. Does that make sense?
She's a winner.
She's a winner.
She is a winner.
Yeah, she's a winner. I feel like
she's a winner. I mean, it's insane how she's been able to like. This year has been insane. I've been like, she's like the biggest thing ever. Like, it's cuckoo banana pants. I'm going to see her in Indianapolis.
I'm going to see her in Indianapolis too. What day are you going?
I don't know. My friend bought the tickets. I just was like, I'm there.
That's so fun.
I was gonna say I'm going November 4th. I think that I basically the tickets.
It's November 4th of next year.
Next year, 2024.
That's how long the tour is too, and that's
what's
kind
year.
of insane because you have to think she is touring the world for years,
like not just a year,
like which is like cuckoo banana pants, like the amount of like.
The longevity
of that would be really exhausting to live. I mean, even though like she has the best accommodations in the world, obviously, like still like.
But you're still doing that 2.5 hour show every single night. Not every night, but like pretty much every night of the week. I mean, all I was gonna say is it's like, I feel like it kind of reminds me of, we've discussed this in previous episodes with pop stars. I feel like it's like female pop stars will have the same like cunning, strategic business minds as men in other industries and will come across as like cunty. I know that's something that we said about Madonna, and it's like, it is. I do think part of it is like.
But I think that it was cunty when the men did it, and I think it's also cunty when the women.
You
do
think
it.
it's
I
just
think
full
that it's.
stop.
I think that like to me, it's like when I'm like when I hear that, I'm like, but I think what men in business do and the strategic moves they make and like the things they do to get ahead at like the cost of like. So sometimes the one thing about Taylor Swift, and I'm gonna get murdered for this. Thank God nobody watches this podcast.
Watch out, honey, honey, honey. It's blowing up.
Honey, it's blowing up. But is that like I feel like she is a little shameless in asking for people to buy things. And I know that like everybody has to be to like make money anywhere or make money in the music industry. So like I'm like, you're selling 14 different versions of this album that each have one song. And you're like, some of that stuff comes off as a little like, I'm like, you have enough money. You know what I mean? Like it comes off as a little... those are the things that sometimes, but I think it's gross when men do it, and I think it's also like this comes to like the capitalism thing.
But she also does good things with her money.
Yeah, she does do good things.
Like she treats the people that work for her.
That is very
so
important.
well,
like,
and
the fact
she
that
connects with her fans too.
Yeah,
on a whole other level.
You see, that part is sometimes a little bit, but. A little bit culty to me, a little bit sometimes.
Yes,
I don't know. I love Taylor Swift and I'm a fan of her.
Well, she has a cult following.
She has a cult following.
Yeah.
But it's like hard for her not to do in the same way of like if you're writing personal songs about your life and like you're very famous and talented and cool and you're, you know, of course people are gonna like follow you like willingly. It's just. And I also think that like it's impossible to have that perspective.
Yeah.
Like when like you're a Taylor Swift, like the way you look at the world just has to be completely different. Mm-hmm. Like because yeah, like I don't know. It's interesting. I like Taylor Swift. I want to go on record with that.
Yeah, no, and my thing is, it's like,
I wouldn't be going to see her in Indianapolis if I didn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't go. I mean, I think it's like, I guess what I run into concern about with Taylor's fans, me being one as well, is I feel like it can be so hardcore, love or hate, and it's like I can love her while also saying. This one thing was kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Well, so like the big thing for me, and this is the Olivia Rodrigo feud, is Deja Vu.
Yes.
I know you get deja vu. Taylor Swift sued her for that part of the song, because it sounds like the one part in Cruel Summer she goes, I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard, and got 50% of the royalties for that song. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the things where I'm like,
well,
this is but like, that's a business decision.
It's a business decision.
You know, and she made probably a ton of money off of that huge hit song being paid royalties to her. But it's like, that's a younger artist. I think that that's bad for art, those kind of lawsuits that like I think it's really gone out of control the way people will sue people for songs sounding alike. And I'm like,
and it's like, I think also, the point that I would bring up just given that situation, I think I might have already said this in a previous episode, but it's like, isn't she recreating every album because Scooter Braun did a similar thing to her? So then to do that to another young artist, it's giving the same energy of like Nicki Minaj every time a new artist comes into the rap scene. Like, it's just like women should be lifting other women up. Why are we doing like predatory kind of like, yeah, it gives catty. And it could be that it was like her,
she sued.
When it could be like, maybe that was her team's call, but it's like you also as an artist like could be like,
yeah, she definitely had the power to shut that down. That's how like artists make money off of like intellectual property. But like that whole thing is kind of fucked up. That's like how Disney's become so popular. It's not because they've always been the most creative, but they have like these like big cultural images branded, and then they sue the fuck out of anybody who like infringes on that, and that's how they make money more than they do off of like the products even, you know. And so of course, like as a business person, Taylor Swift is gonna do the Disney move and sell for, but like to me, that's hard for me to swallow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I don't know what happened. I don't know. Like maybe Olivia Rodrigo did something that really pissed her off behind the scenes. That
I was about to say we don't know like what their interactions were leading up to that like lawsuit too.
Yeah. There's just like a lot that will.
Have you ever felt like you could sue a comedian for a joke or a bit they do or like a piece of?
I just got the idea we should do like a comedy court
show. Comedy court. Yeah. I've always wanted to do a video that's like, and this is another person who like I love deeply, but like, actually Amy Schumer inspired me to go into comedy in some ways.
I love
Amy Schumer. But have you seen the joke stealing compilation videos?
Yeah, and I've got to say,
and some of them are nonsense to me.
Okay.
But some of them I'm like, ugh.
Yes, no, some of them have like legitness. What is the word I'm looking for?
Literally, yeah, like
legitimacy.
Legitimacy. Yeah.
Legitimate. Some of them truly do have legitimacy.
Yeah.
And that I'm like, what happened? But I also sometimes huge comedians like that too, buy jokes.
That's the other thing about it is like, do we know for sure that this is something that she wrote or that a writer wrote? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that like some things parallel thought is possible as well, but it's like the reason I say that is because it's like I've toured with Randy Feltface, and he like in his, I don't want to give away his new hour, but he literally touches on the fact that like one of his biggest jokes is a joke about blueberries are fucking purple. It's a George Carlin joke. And he like was doing it in Australia, like blew up online with it, and somebody was finally like, Carlin much in the comments, and he was like, and he like did his research and he goes, fuck, and it's like he didn't do that on purpose. Like he literally just thought it was an original idea, is in a completely different country,
right?
Was more of a whatever other comedian at the time fan, so just wasn't aware that Carlin had done that joke already.
Right.
So it's like sometimes it is innocent. Like it is sometimes just
and also no artist too, especially someone, I mean, Amy Schumer's very smart.
Yeah.
She's a very smart woman. I would have a very hard time seeing her behind the scenes being like, okay, now I'm going to steal this person's joke.
That's the thing is, honestly, I have a hard time believing most comedians would do that, especially like somebody like Amy Schumer. I just don't think it would be worth it in the like, and it doesn't like, and it just seems so like, it's something that comedians would hate you for. You know what I mean? And
she's very much loved by the comedy community.
Yeah, and I've heard also amazing things about like the people who've like worked for her, who've like opened for her and stuff, about like working with her and just how like nice she is. But it is a great situation because some of those, it's too, especially like some of the sketches on her show, it's like too one-to-one. Like there's no way. Yeah. But also I recently had this, I think I sent both of you this video, I know exactly of like a comedian who has a joke that's verbatim mine. Yeah. And not verbatim, it's like everything is like twisted to the side like by 1 degree, but it goes like right down like the line of my joke.
It's the same beats.
It's the exact same beats, and it is it's a weird situation to be in because I've had this mindset. I'm like, we all like kind of steal from each other on purpose and on accident, like, you know what I mean? And I think that art's better that way. And I think actually this like intensity of like, this is sort of my joke and I'm gonna sue you, or this is sort of my song, and I think that's not good for art, and I think it's like blown things out of proportion. But also like I'm like, but I think that's my joke, and I'm like, did they steal it or is it parallel?
Well,
and it's a.
I've been in the room a couple times, truly, I think literally just 2 times, where somebody has said a joke on stage, and then they have a great set, and then they get off, and like I have witnessed this where someone else has approached them and been like, "Hey, that was awesome. Just a heads up, this comedian has a pretty similar joke. Yeah, just wanted to let you know," and like. I think it is everybody's due diligence, and because we're part of a community,
Yes.
whether you like it or not. This is a community.
Yeah.
Get with the program. If you see someone on stage doing someone else's thing, just do them a solid, and like it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just let them know, hey, this person says something really similar.
I mean,
let them do what they want to do with that.
All I was going to add is like, for me on both sides of the coin, I remember I was talking to a friend and like being like, I liked this boy at the time and I was like, oh, I'm so sad. Da, da, da. And she was like, this is also a comedian. She was like, oh, he looks like someone drew from memory a basic white guy. And I was like, that's so fucking funny. And I made it a lyric in a song about the whole situation. And then like, I told her, I was like, is it okay if this is a lyric if I credit you? And she's like, yeah, sure. And like, I still sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad because maybe she wanted to say that in a joke, but it was in reference to somebody that I was dealing with. And so it's
Was she a comedian?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But she said it was okay. But then,
but we all give jokes to each other.
Yeah, we do all give jokes to each
Yeah.
other too.
Yes.
I will say, recently I had, and this is an insane thing of me to ask somebody, but I had a comedian who did this bit on stage, and it was like an alti bit. And I had this homework show coming up, and I'm like, this joke would work great for me. And I was like, can I do this for this one show? And then she was like, no.
no, you cannot. You're like,
and then I felt like so like, oh, I'm like,
That's
I
so funny.
kind of thought she would say yes, but also
I love that you asked though.
I did. Well, I was, I'm like, I'm not gonna steal the joke, and I don't need the joke, but but also sometimes, and I feel like this is like, I feel like sometimes you want to like. For me, like when I'm listening to music, I'm like living in the song and like experiencing like what it would be like to like, feel these emotions and like perform this. And I feel like I like saw that joke too, and I was like, I want to live in that joke. You know what I mean? Like I want to like experience what that like. And I also thought that about Ali Drapos's song joke.
I'm coming. Or no,
that
She's
one.
coming.
She's
She's coming.
coming.
Kickball change.
We all know
we are the townspeople, and I could do it
I think
verbatim.
there should be a show just called the Ali Drapo Show where everyone comedian just does her set.
Yeah.
And we all just get to experience what it's like to do
say
it.
those jokes.
They said I
they're
looked like the
They're so good.
squirrel from. Oh God! Wait, no.
Ice Age?
Yes.
I love the squirrel from Ice Age. I wish if there were cartoon things that were real, I would be best friends with. It would be the squirrel from Ice Age, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cartoon, Minions, and then the Scrubbing Bubbles guy.
The other dinner at medieval times.
Yeah, those were my four animated
other
dinner guys.
Wait, okay. The Scrubbing Bubbles. Oh, I also really quickly want to ask you, as somebody who has now been the host of the Laugh Factory open mic for over a year.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in January.
Wow.
God.
Okay.
I love.
That is from both of us having been workers there and also comedians. That's attracts a lot of insane people and insane situations. And what's like some of the wildest things that have happened to you at the Laugh Factory open mic?
Oh my God. Honestly, not too much has like gone awry. One time, this happened like probably 3 months ago. It was so funny. I remember right before I went up, sometimes I jokingly say, but it sometimes helps me. I'm like, this is going to be the best set of my life.
Yeah.
And like, I remember turning to somebody on the side of the stage, another comedian who's like, watch this. This is going to be the best set of my life. And then I go up there and I was so excited and the crowd like just was kind of giving me nothing. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I made a joke. Somebody heckled me. And it wasn't a funny heckle. It was like a rude one from all the way in the back. And I shut it down, but I did not do it in a funny way.
Yeah.
And
I hate that.
And I tanked the energy in the room. And then I was like, well, I guess I gotta bring it back up. So I tried to do my jokes, but you could clearly tell I did not want to do my jokes. And they weren't going well at all. And then I just had to turn. I was on the stage. I had to turn away. and I had to like tell myself that I was okay. And then somebody in the audience just goes, "We love you, Grace. It's okay." And then I started to cry. And I was like, okay, fine, you got it. Yeah, it was like, that feeling that you get in your throat.
I'm sorry. That's That's honestly my reaction to what Grace just said too. That is a glass spilling moment. Are you okay though, Beckett?
The way you just scooped up the water
You
with your
said
hands,
nothing.
not just the ice.
You said nothing at all. You just very quietly ice fully in your lap. Just
This is a beautiful moment.
Sometimes you gotta give your bush an ice bath, and
I know I did.
I've always said that.
I'm sorry. I know. Literally, though. I don't. No, I'm kidding.
The most insane thing. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I got distracted, so I literally forgot what we were talking about.
Grace crying at the Laugh Factory.
Grace crying.
But I do
at the Laugh Factory.
The Laugh Factory, Mike. The Laugh Factory, Mike. I have cried at the Laugh Factory. I think probably 2 or 3 times.
Oh, I've cried 100.
I've definitely cried at the Laugh Factory a lot.
I mean, I cry everywhere all the time.
Me
True.
too.
I have cried at the Lincoln Lodge too.
Oh, I cried there more than the Laugh Factory for some reason.
I've never cried at Zany's. Knock on wood.
I can confirm that this is a pretty heavy tier table. The three of us really kind of hold our own in the crying department, I will say. Yeah.
You want to join the crying? We got it covered. We actually don't need any more.
Yeah, we could fill a river. But one of the most insane things at the Laugh Factory open mic that I've ever heard of, and I don't know if you've heard of this or this mystery was solved.
Okay.
But allegedly at one point,
Yes.
Do you remember when there were trash cans on the Laugh Factory because the stage because the roof was leaking?
The roof, yeah.
Allegedly, during while I believe Alex was hosting, at one point puke showed up in one of the garbage cans, but people are adamant that the puke was not there before the show began, the open mic began, and was. And so they think it must have happened on stage. I don't know how this is possible.
I don't know about that, but I do know that I heard about someone this happened at the 7:30 show on a Tuesday, probably 6 months ago. An audience member did throw up.
No.
Yeah.
That happened at House of Blues once where
I'm sorry, Sheboygan, the woman vomiting into the cup.
Oh, right. Yes.
Oh, my God.
When Jamie was performing in Sheboygan, a woman threw up into her cup, like in the front row. And she was the fun audience member.
So I have thrown up into a cup before.
Good for you. Well, I think it happens the best of us.
It's in college. And I broke my finger right before too.
Not that.
Yeah, so my school. I went to school up in Canada, where in Quebec the drinking age is 18. So heavy drinking culture there. But it was my senior year. Senior year, you did this thing called Faculty Olympics, and basically all the schools would get together and it was drinking Olympics for the week, the whole week. I was just drunk.
Yeah,
and they took us out to this random little island area for one night of the Olympics, and then we all got on those big coach buses to go back. And I went back, and I was by myself. And I really had to throw up. And there was a bathroom in the back of the bus, so I started heading back there, and I opened it, and then sorry to describe him this way, but kind of like a traditional frat guy was it's broken, you can't go in there. And I was well, I need to go in. And I tried again, and he slammed the door on my finger.
No!
Yes, and I was so drunk that I didn't even realize that I broke my finger because I just still needed to puke. So it's fine. So I went and I sat down next to this random guy who was holding McDonald's.
Yeah.
and I look over at him when the bus, the engine turns on. I look over at him and I'm like, "Hey, are you done with your drink?" And he looks at me and he's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Thank you." And I just took it, opened up the cup, yacked in the cup, put the lid back on, and I was like, "Thank you so much."
Oh my God. I love it though. What a queen. What an icon.
That is iconic.
Chaotic.
I do have to have us go into the song because we are at the end at this point. But I do wanna ask
this is so fun.
Just quick question for everybody. Wildest place you've ever puked? We'll just round robin. It might be the cup for you, but what's the wildest place you've puked? Beckett?
have to say that one, I'm very proud of myself as a puker. I think that the best system is always just to let go and just let the puke happen.
I agree.
But I can't think of that many. One time in Ireland, I was 6 and I remember laying on my cousin's head and I was laying on her lap in the car and we kept going in circles and circles and I was like the really young cute cousin and she was like older. And she was like, oh my God. Like, I remember her like gesturing and like telling people to like look at like my head like on her lap because it was so cute. And then I yacked all over her. And yeah. But in my like teenage to adult life, I've always made it to the toilet or a trash can or an alley.
That's fine. An alley is
an alley is the city trash can.
Totally. So I've been lucky in that way.
Yes. How about you?
Cup was the weirdest, but if I could like flex, like where like the coolest place I've ever puked,
yeah, please,
would be the Kennedy Center.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, they're very, very bougie bathroom. I was 7. I was there to see My Fair Lady with my grandparents and my mom. First act, and I realized I was ruining the whole day. But I was like, Mom, I gotta go. And I wrecked that bathroom.
Worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst when you're sick for like a really like kind of like special event that can't.
Yeah.
I was sick during my preschool graduation too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's pretty gross and not fun, but probably like the most weird ones would be into a McDonald's paper bag.
You go, girl.
While driving a car. And on a penis that one is scarring.
Oh, yeah.
Jarring.
That happens.
Upsetting.
That happens.
That does happen.
It does. It does happen.
I've really kind of, I feel like, brought myself back from the edge of that a few times. You know what I mean? Where you caught it in the gullet and kind of did a swallow back situation. I've had that happen a few times. Luckily, still not thrown up on Z-Dick yet.
Yes. Well, 0 stars, do not recommend. It was also the first time I ever was doing that. So I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you gotta learn how to ride the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I feel like the man in the situation was kind of pulling on the leash.
Yes.
And don't pull on the leash.
The man was pulling on the leash.
Get your hand off of my head.
Yeah, get your hand off of my head.
Children's book story. What a beautiful children's book ending.
I ruined it. I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry.
The man making me gag was pulling the leash.
Yeah, and then I'm like, just enjoy the journey, okay? But we need to do the song because I feel we're like an hour and a minute in. So thank you so much, Becca. Our amazing accompanist is going to take it away one last time for us.
This is epic.
This has been amazing. Thank you. Quit tugging on that leash, enjoy the journey. Quit tugging on that leash, enjoy the journey. Quit tugging on that leash, enjoy the journey. Quit tugging on that leash, enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey today, 'cause it may all go away. You never know what treats you might pull into. Oh yeah, just enjoy the walk. It's a real nice sunny day. Don't pull on the leash and waste it all away. You gotta keep walking, keep walking, yeah. And talking and walking, yeah. Enjoy the ride, it's bumping, yeah. Enjoy the ride, Grace, take it over.
I don't care if you're my dog or my boyfriend, but don't pull on the leash.
Yeah,
don't do that, it's rude.
Stop focusing on the destination, sweetie, and enjoy the journey with me.
Ooh, enjoy a ride.
Don't tug on the leash, enjoy the journey. You're still doing
Don't
it.
tug on the leash. Enjoy the journey.
That's my bad. I was tugging on the leash. I was tugging on the leash.
I was tugging on the leash. Tugging on the leash. Tugging on the
When
leash.
I should not tug on the leash. Enjoy
tugging on the leash. Tugging on the
journey.
leash. Sometimes we tug on the leash.
Tug
Tug on the leash.
Enjoy
Tug on the
the
leash. Tug on the
journey.
leash. Yeah. Tug on the leash. Tug on the leash.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Don't tug on that leash. Enjoy the journey.
When on the beach, don't tug on the leash.
Don't tug on the leash.
Woo!
Don't tug on the leash. Don't tug on the leash.
Don't be a little beach.
Grace, thank you so much for doing this show.
Thank
so
you. This
amazing.
is the best time ever. I love you guys.
Yeah,
love you
thank you
too.
so much. We love you.
We're going to put the Instagram of Miss Grace Bahler in the description of this episode. So if you're like, oh my God, I love Grace. I have to follow her. I have to keep up with her. I want to read that book when it's done. I want to see her on stage. You'll just follow her on Instagram and you can.
Amazing.
Amazing.
We
Yeah,
love you.
thank
This has been the Big Finish Podcast. I'm Jamie Schreiner.
And I'm Becca Kenny.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Lodge Christine. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.